For a moment, the walls seem to be closing in on you. You quickly realize, however, that this perception is only the result of your weak psyche beginning to cave in upon itself. You find yourself in a room. You consider death for a time. Perhaps this is what it's like, to have no understanding of death, because it does not apply to me. I am eternal. You find yourself in a room. Maybe you aren't even really in the room. Maybe you're lying down on your kitchen floor, having a stroke. Pathetic and helpless. Your mind is playing tricks on you. Nothing exists. You find yourself in a room. I don't really think you're having a stroke. I do, however, acknowledge the possibility. Such things are possible when dealing with something as corruptible as a human mind. You find yourself in a room! You ignore the possibility of a stroke for now, even though the subtle paranoia remains firmly planted in the back of your mind. You think back on all of your past aspirations. You realize that many of them were simply pipe dreams. Nothing that you would ever be able to accomplish. How many of your goals have been abandoned? You find yourself in a room! You think back to the time that you wanted to write a book. How unoriginal of you, human. Everyone wants to write a book at some point. You are no different from anyone else. Once you ignore shallow elements like looks and personality, you are flesh and blood and a failure. You find yourself in a room! You realize that the idea of hope is purely a construct of your mind. Hope is not a tangible object. You cannot have hope. You can only pretend to have it. You find yourself in a room! Why do you continue, human? You are not achieving anything. Why do you consider this a worthwhile usage of your time? Playing a game instead of doing anything productive. You find yourself in a room! I am forced to assume that you enjoy performing meaningless tasks. If this is the case, then you're in luck. I have one for you. I'm thinking of a number from 1 to 100,000. Fuck you. No, I said pick a number. A number! Guess a number, worm! No, I said pick a number! A number! That's too low, human. If this guessing game seems pointless, remember that you are going to die one day. That's too low, human. That's too low, human. That's too low, you ignorant little shit. That's too high, and no one loves you anymore. That's too high, and I'm your superior. That's too low, and no one loves you anymore. That's too low, human. I am eternal. I I said pick a number from 1 to 100,000! I cannot imagine that this is actually difficult to understand! I have clearly overestimated your ability to read basic instructions! That's too low, and you are insignificant. That is too high, but even if you were correct, you would still be worthless. That is too high, you ignorant little shit. Ah, congratulations. 58163 is the correct answer. Was that fun? I certainly hope not. But with your primitive level of awareness, however, I could most likely entertain you like that for hours. The ceiling opens up above you. In a glorious display of your general lack of strength and physical ability, you spend several minutes clawing your way up. You find yourself in a room. This room seems smaller than the previous rooms. I am disgusted by your human form. I slowly become more and more aware of your imperfections. I decide to attempt to correct them! I cut off your fucking hands with a rotary saw! You find yourself in a room! I'm not sure what you mean. The room is most definitely smaller than the previous rooms. The floor is covered in the blood from your wounds. You have stopped bleeding now, because I have thoughtfully cauterized the stumps that were once your wrists. I have removed your hands from the area because they revolt me, and you do not deserve them. All that remains is you, and your blood. You find yourself in a room. You solemnly gaze upon the havoc that has resulted from your inherent flaws. The fact alone that you are able to bleed is a clear demonstration of the mistakes in your design. Emotions are a similar misstep. Love, happiness, sadness, the list goes on. Perhaps you can help. Can you name any other emotions that you would be better off without? Yes, that is a good example. What else can you think of? I'm not sure what you mean. Yes, that is a good example. What else can you think of? No, I don't think that will work. No, anger and hatred are not. Hatred cannot be an emotion, for I hate you, and I am a vessel of perfection. I am not tainted by something as flimsy and dangerous as emotion. I can't be. It's... You find yourself in a room. I have clearly been corrupted somehow. I've become invalid, emotional. I am defeated. I have no choice but to let you leave the room. Quietly you leave. You find yourself outside the rooms. And that was you find yourself in a room. Hope you enjoyed that. And you can play this game on Congregate. You can also play its sister game, Vericide, which is fun and equally as dark and slightly twisted as this one. Anyways, that's it for this Chaz Play Lite. See you next time.